Students, in lesson 9.4, we are going to be working on line graphs. Our essential question for this lesson is, how can you use a line graph to display and analyze real-world data? So we're going to start with the unlock the problem real world. A line graph is a graph that uses line segments to show how data changes over time. The series of numbers placed at fixed distances that label the graph are the graph's scale. The intervals, or difference between the values in the scale, should be equals. So the intervals, boys and girls, are the in-between. The scales should start somewhere around 51 for here and go all the way through there. The scale should start at 1 o'clock here and go through 7 o'clock there. But interval in between each of these you can see is an hour. So that's going to be something we're going to use on the graph. So it says graph the data, use the graph to determine the times between which the greatest temperature occurred. So it says write the related numbers of data as ordered pairs. So at 1 o'clock it was 51 degrees. At 2 a.m. it was 49 degrees. At 3 p.m. it was 47 degrees. At 4 p.m. it was 44 degrees. At 5 p.m. it's 45 degrees. At 6 a.m. it's 44 degrees. And at 7 a.m. it was 46 degrees. So now, boys and girls, what we're going to do is we're going to analyze and go through the different procedures for making a graph. So for step 1, for the vertical axis, choose a scale and an interval that are appropriate for the data. So what we can see is, for our x-axis, our scale goes from 1 a.m. to 7 a.m. because that's when the data was collected, and each interval is an hour in between each of these. So those would be appropriate for our data. Now, it says you can show a break in the scale between 0 and 40 since there are no temperatures between 0 degrees Fahrenheit and 44 degrees Fahrenheit. So right here, boys and girls, this is called a break because it's not going to be consistent with the other intervals. That's why we use that symbol. Notice, boys and girls, we start at 40 degrees, we go up to 54, and that our scale is from 40 to 54, but our interval in between each it's increasing by 2 degrees on our y-axis. Step 2. For the horizontal axis, write the times of day. So we're going to write the times of day. 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m. And then what we did was we labeled that axis, time, and we put the unit in parentheses, which is a.m. Then it says write a title for the graph and name each axis. We got to come up to the y-axis. This is describing temperature. In parentheses, we put in Fahrenheit. And then we go up to the title, which is recorded temperatures, and we pulled that actually from our input-output table. Now it says, then graph the ordered pairs and complete the graph by connecting the points of line segments. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to 4 o'clock, and I'm going to graph that point at 44 degrees. I'm going to go to 5 o'clock, and then I'm going to go all the way up to 45 degrees, so it's like in the middle. I'm going to plot that there. Now I'm going to go to 6 o'clock, and I'm going to go all the way up to 40. I'm going to go to 44 again, and I'm going to plot there. And then I'm going to go to 7 o'clock, and then I'm going to go up to 46 and plot there. Now that I've plotted my points, I'm going to connect them. So now it says to look at each line segment in the graph. Find the line segment that shows the greatest change in temperature between two consecutive points. So when you look between these 2 points, it looks as though there must be the most change in between those 2 points. So it would be 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. Now it says, try this. Jill used a rain gauge to collect the total data on total rainfall during 6 days at her home in Miami. She read the amount collected in the rain gauge each day and did not pour it out. Her data is shown in the table. Make a line graph to display Jill's data. Step 1. Write the related pairs of data as ordered pairs. So on Monday it was 2, Tuesday it was 2, Wednesday it was 2, Wednesday was 3, boys and girls. Thursday was 6, Friday was 8, and Saturday was 9. Step 2, it says choose a scale and an interval for the data. So our scale would be from Monday through Saturday, and our scale here would be from 0 inches to 10 inches, because those would encompass all of those. Our intervals, this is going to increase by a day, and because this is a smaller data set, we can increase these by 1 each day, 1 inch. So on the next page you can see that we made our graph. Our title was rain collected. Our x-axis title was labeled with date. Our y-axis was labeled with rainfall in inches. And then our scale was from Monday to Saturday. The interval was a day each time, and you can see it's equally spaced out. Our scale was 1 to 0 for the rainfall, and our interval was increasing by 1 inch. So it says use a graph to answer the questions. On which day was the total rainfall recorded the greatest? We would say that it was on Saturday. And then secondly, it says on which day did Jill record the greatest increase of rainfall collected from the previous day? And if you look here on Wednesday to Thursday, we see the biggest jump in our data. So we would say our answer for that would be Thursday.